Okay, I'm Brother Shelter Muhammad. You guys still need to, right? And this is our brother and farmer.
Yeah, Harold Faulk.
Harold Faulk.
Harold, Harold, Faulk.
And we want him to, he's a black farmer, and from a history of black farmers, we want him to tell his story about the attack on black farmers, the loss of black farmland, and how it's impacting the health of the black community. So, Mr. Faulk, go ahead and tell your story.
Well, as I've been saying for a while, that black people are going to have to learn how to survive on their own.
That's right.
We cannot continue to run to the supermarket.
That's right.
And buy from the food line, because one of these days the food in the supermarket is not going to be suitable for our consumption.
That's right.
And if we grow our own, we can become healthier.
That's right.
And we'll live longer, and we don't have to spend all our money in the supermarket, because that food is not healthy. It has to have too many preservatives in it.
That's right.
And I can tell you that because my wife is a nurse practitioner, retired.
Yes, sir.
And she's treated a lot of us for hypertension and diabetes because we're consuming the wrong type of food. Many times we suffer from colon problems simply because we eat out the fast food restaurant.
That's right.
And that food will not digest in our system.
Yes, sir.
Stays too long. And we need to be eating more vegetables.
Yes, sir.
Beans.
Right.
Beans, potatoes. We can survive a long time. And can you imagine how much money we would save if we only spent money for what we needed?
Yes, sir.
God has already provided our needs for it.
That's right.
He gave us land.
Right.
He gave us a mind.
That's right.
He gave us a healthy body. And we are destroying it, eating out of fast food restaurants.
That's right. That's right.
That's what's hurting us. And most of our young people don't know how to grow a collard green.
That's right.
Don't know how to grow potatoes.
That's right.
Don't know how to can food anymore.
Yes, sir.
Everything has got to be put in the deep freezer. And if they can't buy it from the store, they don't know what. We're eating all these foods that has to be packed down and preserved. And now, look at what's happening. We're getting all these recalls.
That's right.
From food that can impact us because we have the less financial resources to buy.
Yes, sir.
And if we can't buy our own food, then we got to start in food lines where the folks are passing out what they don't want.
Right. That's right.
And we always picking up. We've always lived according to what they didn't want.
Yes, sir.
I have past co-workers who did a lot of fishing, and we ate all the fish that we caught. They throw away. And it was always a big joke. They eat flounder, and if they call it a croaker, they throw them away. And I'm saying, well, give them to me.
Yes, sir.
And we eat those fish, and we are all still healthy. We eat herring, salt them down, could get them right out of the stream.
Yes, sir.
My daddy used to go to North Carolina, dip them out of the creek. We brought them home, packed them down in salt, and we had fish all year long. And some people still go to North Carolina and buy a herring and pack them down. That's survival.
Yes, sir.
We don't have to spend all of our money in the restaurants eating out. We've got to teach our young people how to survive on their own. You can grow enough food to feed 100 people, most of them right in their own yard.
Wow.
But they sit there and plant grass that you got to keep watering.
That's right.
And cutting, coming to nothing when you could be planting vegetables in that yard.
That's right.
Potatoes, greens, all sorts of greens, things that are healthy for you, beets, carrots. That stuff is healthy, and you can control the chemical that you put on.
Right, that's right. Let me ask you a question. What do you think about, what are your opinions or views on, I call it the attack on the black farmer? How, you know, they say, the report said in 1920 we had almost 1 million black farmers. Now it's been withered down to about 5,000.
Well, that was because we didn't have education.
Yes, sir.
They prevented us from learning how to read, so we missed out on all of the programs that were available to the black farmers. And then when we grew our goods on the farm, we couldn't get the same price for them
Right.
that the white farmers were getting because the white farmers were using that as a tool to run us into bankruptcy, and they
Right.
could take over our property.
That's right.
And it's always been that way. The big, even they even do that to their own people.
That's right.
The big fish eat up the little fish,
That's right.
and
That's
and once they get your land, we're never able to get it back.
Right.
And that's the biggest thing now. And what has happened? The pandemic came, and all these poor black people who had small farms. My grandfather reared 17 children on this farm right back here. It's only 56 acres. Only 25 acres of it is clear. But he reared 17 children
Wow.
on this little small farm. And now we don't have anybody that wants to even farm. When I pass away, there would be nothing growing back here if
Wow.
it weren't for me.
Yes, sir.
Only because I'm trying to keep the legacy of the black farmer going. Now, we have some cousins who are into farming in a larger way. I have a cousin up in Southampton County, Northumberland County, that is, who is doing similar to what you're already doing.
Yes, sir.
And right now, he's a farm manager, goes to Florida, but he has a degree in agriculture, and he goes down there and manages thousands of acres. And so, but we got to be more independent.
Right. That's right.
We've got to learn how to survive,
That's right.
and we can't do it just sitting behind the desk. Everybody cannot sit behind the desk.
That's right.
There's nothing wrong with getting your hands dirty,
That's right.
because soap and water will clean them up, and you can sit next door to the president on Sunday,
Yes, sir.
but you can still go to that field on Monday morning and get your potatoes and your greens. And I used to say I had to wash the peanut dust out of my hair because I grew 100 acres of peanuts at the time.
Yes, sir.
And I got to wash the peanut dust out of my hair on Friday night, get up Saturday morning, go to have breakfast with the governor of Virginia
Yes, sir.
on Saturday, and come right back here and get off out of my car and get back on my tractor and still be the same Harold Faulk.
Yes, sir. Why do you think we've lost so many black farmers?
Simply because we didn't know about the economics in farming. We didn't know how to market our food, our produce,
Yes, sir.
and we had to depend on somebody else. And we had nobody to help us in that area because we were more so looking out for ourselves. If you dealt with a particular buyer of grain and he gave you a good price for it, you kept it to yourself
Okay.
because it felt like if you gave, let everybody know, next thing you know, everybody would be getting the same amount of money. What I did most of my farming career was when I went to buy my fertilizer, I said, give me the same fertilizer you recommended to my neighbor down the road who was farming thousands of acres.
Yes, sir.
It cost more, but I found out they were getting it cheaper because they bought so much.
Yes, sir.
And right now, sometimes I can't get goods because the bigger farmers have bought up all of the first grade seed, and you got to take whatever's left.
Yes, sir.
And that's all they will let you have. So we've got to get some representation in all the areas. Now, we don't have now any minorities serving on the farm service agencies.
Yes, sir.
Not in this area, because I had a friend, Mr. Israel Claude, who passed away. He's the last black man to serve. I had a cousin, Monty Walden, who was serving somewhat down there. But I got paperwork the other day that only 2 white men out there. And I'm saying, some of them, if it had not been for some good people in there, we wouldn't be where we are.
Right.
But it's just not enough. And we've got to prove to everybody that we can be industrious.
Yes, sir.
You got to get up early in the morning, and sometimes you got to go to bed late at night.
Yes, sir.
But you cannot do it sitting. My daddy used to say you can't do it sitting on the front porch.
That's right.
You got to get out there and work.
So what would you do, or what would you think we should do to increase the number of black farmers?
We're going to have to be able to pool together financial resources because the price of farmland is outrageous now. And we can't compete with developers.
Right.
And that's what's happening. Many of the black farmers, including some of my land, is being sold because I can't afford to pay taxes with the retirement money that I get in my Social Security if I didn't have some money put away. And it's got to be long-range savings. And we are getting into the investment markets now. But many of us didn't know. I did not know when I was younger anything about investing. And the only reason I was able to invest in anything is because I worked at Newport News Shipbuilding. And they offered me an investment program by being a management person. And then I didn't know what to do. And I had to keep my ears to the wall and listen to what the other guys were doing and make my moves. Because I remember one day I heard my supervisor talking about selling stock and what it was that day. The next day, I sold mine and I lost $10 a share just by waiting 24 hours.
Wow.
And it doesn't amount to much when you say $10, but if you got 200 shares or 300 shares, that adds up.
That's right.
And these are the things that we fell short in learning how to manage our resources, get the best recommendations on how to get the most products for what we invest in our seeds and fertilizer.
Yes, sir. You had mentioned we need to be more independent. What did you mean by that?
Simply that when you have to go to someone else for all of the key information you need, you can no longer depend on that because many of us have followed the advice of people who didn't have our best interests at heart.
That's right.
And we didn't find out until it was too late. Many times, indirectly, they were setting us up for failure.
Yes, sir.
And if you didn't save yourself some money to have a cash flow, you could be in real trouble real quick.
Right.
And right now, it's dangerous. No matter what you do, if you are not real careful about maintaining a cash flow, that when things get tough, you've got a little piece of money that you can go pull out and keep your families moving forward and keep your business moving forward. You can't do it borrowing money.
Right.
And I know about that because I borrowed money most of my farming career to operate with. But if you and you always paid them because they put their name on your check when you went to the market. They got their money first, and you got what was left.
Right.
And if there was anything coming up short, it was always on your end,
Right.
not on the lender's end.
Yes, sir.
So we've got to learn to put some money away, hold on to it, and invest it wisely. And we've got to have enough people studying how to do that. We need some people studying land management, need some real estate people who know what the latest things are going on. And we need to have some cash flow stashed away that we can pull without having to go to. I know I wanted to buy a farm, and I had to go to someone. I got turned down from 3 banks that I had done business with. And I don't mind telling you that the city treasurer was also a farmer here in Suffolk. And I went to the bank, and he was in there, and I happened to tell him that I was trying to get some money to buy a farm, and I had been turned down by several people. And he told me who to go talk to. Well, I went and talked to him, and the same people that turned me down because of one man's telephone call gave me an opportunity to get the money. Came out to my property, assessed the cost of all my farm equipment, even down to my tools, and told me that I had the equity to get the money that I needed. But the sad part about it, I had to get a white person to bid for me. Because I was the only black at the public auction. And I knew I could not compete with the people there.
Right.
And so I had a white bidder bidding for me. And when she got there, she was asked to start the bidding at the maximum amount that I could pay for the phone.
Wow.
And when she refused to do it, the auction was held up for over an hour.
Wow.
And when it did start, a stranger came in, and they started bidding, and they started the bidding at $20,000. But I could only afford $125,000, and I told her to stop at $100 because I didn't want to be $25,000 in the hole.
Yes, sir.
If you got it, because then you don't have any money for the seed and fertilizer.
Right. That's right.
And all the legal ratifications that go along with purchasing the land, you had to pay. And so we stopped at $100, and the people that bought it ended up buying it at $145,000.
Yes, sir.
And the bank said that $100,000 was the max that they would ever allow me to have because of the profit margin it would take to pay for the farm and pay for all the seed and fertilizer.
Wow. All right, one more question. What do you think, as a people, we need to do to increase the number of black farmers?
We've got to educate our people on the importance of Mother Earth.
Yes, sir.
God created this earth, and it will produce everything we need to survive.
That's right.
All we have to do is get out there and work the soil.
Yes, sir.
Learn how to plant and grow food for ourselves. If we start feeding ourselves, we can survive.
That's right.
But we don't want to do that. We're depending on everybody else
That's
to
right.
feed us. And then because we're too comfortable not giving up the physical energy needed to produce enough food to eat.
Wow.
And it doesn't take but a very little bit. Most people could grow enough food in their flower beds. to survive if they chose to do so. But now we look at everything that glitters. We hear about all these exotic foods. We don't know anything about the nutritionist values for them.
Right.
And we are trying them because we see these other people living large and doing so. We don't know how they're getting there.
That's right.
We can't jump on every bandwagon that comes along. We've got to look at the long haul and what can help keep us healthy enough to survive and live a decent life. So I think that basically we've got to re-educate our family. And really we've got to do it within our churches.
Right.
Our churches have failed the black community because we got all wrapped up in the, what should I say? Being very careful because I don't know what people might think because I've been in church all my life. But we get all wrapped up into the emotions and the glamour and the glitter and the recognition. And we're failing to realize the most important thing, this country was founded on religion.
Right.
It was founded on religion. We put in God we trust on our currency.
Right.
And we've forgotten the golden rule, doing unto others that you would have done unto you.
Yes, sir.
If we started practicing the 10 Commandments, now we can't even teach our children the 10 Commandments in school.
Yes, sir.
Because nobody believes in that. Everybody we let one atheist change the whole country.
Yes, sir.
To take prayer out of school. Okay, you can have a different religion than me. If we pray, you pray to your God.
That's right.
We don't have to shut down prayer in the school because of that. If you don't want my Baptist background, then you can have your holiness background.
That's right.
Or your Muslim background.
That's right.
You are praying independently. We don't have to pray out loud.
That's right.
Just a moment of prayer. You pray to your God.
That's right.
And we can move on.
That's right.
Because our children now are hating one another rather than loving one another.
That's right.
And that's what I think the solution is. We've got to learn how to pray and get along together. Democracy is beautiful, but you got to make sure you manage it properly.
Yes, sir.
Anything, my father used to say, that you have and you don't check on it on a regular basis will get away from you.
That's right.
And I believe he was right in that. That was because we grew livestock.
Yes, sir.
And the pigs go out and fare their little ones in a protective area that they felt comfortable. Because every mother protects their children.
That's right.
Then you got to go out and find them. And then you can herd them back in where you can can manage them. But if you don't go out there, next thing you know, they could wander into somebody else's property. And they'll become theirs property.
Right.
And you've lost yours, which has happened to us time and time again.
Oh, yeah.
Over and over again, even down to our children.
Yes, sir.
So, yeah, we've got to take ownership of what we have, what our foreparents have worked and died for us to have.
That's right.
We've got to stand up
That's right.
to keep that legacy going.
That's right. Thank you. You have anything you want to say before we conclude this?
Not right now. I think I've said enough.
Okay, we appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you for taking the time and asking me these questions.
Yes, sir.
I certainly appreciate you
Yes,
coming back. It's been, 2 or 3 years since we've talked.
That's right.
And what you're doing is what I'm hearing all the time.
Yes, sir.
We need to start working together.
Yes, sir.
And we don't have to always be thinking the same thoughts.
That's right.
But we've got to recognize the rights of the majority to rule.
That's right.
If your idea is better than mine,
Yes, sir.
we got to try it.
That's right.
See how it works out.
Yes, sir.
That's all it takes.
Yes, sir.
And nobody loses
That's right.
when you're trying to reach a common goal.
That's right. That's right. We got to do one more thing. We got to take a picture. This sister told me every time I talk with